And an example of this is, you know when you guys buy a book from Amazon and they have a shipping fee? That's an example of this. Yeah. All right, you guys doing good? All right, let's practice this. So let's do exercise 5-1. You'll find that on page 211. All right. So here's exercise 5-1. Now, why don't we do the first part, and then we'll go over it, and then with that practice, we'll do the second part, because it's kind of the same thing done twice. So in the first one, prepare journal entries to record the following transactions for a retail store assuming a perpetual inventory system. So on April 2nd, turn this camera around. On April 2nd, you purchase merchandise from the Blue Company under the following terms. $3,600 price, invoice dated April 2nd, credit terms 2/15, net 60. So this means you get a 2% discount if you pay within 15 days. If you choose not to do that, the whole thing is due in 60 days. FOB shipping point. So that means the buyer's responsible for the shipping charges. Then on the 3rd, you pay the $200 shipping charge from the purchase. Then in the 4th, you return to the Blue Company unacceptable merchandise for $600. And then on the 17th, you sent a check net of discount and return purchases. Okay?
So are we assuming that you paid the shipping charges in cash or?
Yeah. When it says, and Kristen, the way you can tell them that, see, whenever it uses the word paid, we're talking cash. Okay? Even though you could send them a check, but you'll probably send them a check. Could pay by credit card. But from an accounting standpoint, it's cash. I'm going to turn on the light, and I'll turn it back off when we put that up there on the board. So let me give you some feedback. Here's what it looked like when you made the purchase on April 2nd. Okay? Here's what it looked like when you paid the shipping bill. I'll turn out that light so it's easier to read. Let me hit autofocus too. There's autofocus. There's the light. So the top one is what it looked like when you ordered the merchandise. You got the merchandise. Then when you paid, so then when you got the merchandise, you debited the asset and credited accounts payable. Because merchandise, you own the inventory, it's an asset. Then when you paid the shipping charge, Well, then increase the value of your asset, because every asset is valued at what you pay for it, plus whatever it costs to get it in usable order. For inventory, it means putting it on the shelf. And you send them a check, credit card, you paid in cash, said paid. Then, when you return the merchandise, you debit accounts payable and credit the asset, right? Less liability, less asset. Then when you pay it, now you bought $3,600, you returned $600, so now you owe $3,000. And then you qualify for a 2% discount, which is $60, so you credit merchandise inventory for the amount of the discount. The difference is how much cash you sent. Does that sound good? And then, I'll see if there's any questions. When you're okay with that, then there's a second set of purchases and payments. The 18th through the 28th.
So shipping, it's always cash?
I think what better answer to your question, Cameron, is whenever you see the word paid, it's always cash.
Okay.
I think that's more to the point.
And shipping, the expense for shipping counts as merchandise inventory.
If the buyer pays it.
Okay.
If the buyer pays it, if it's FOB shipping point, the buyer the buyer takes title when it leaves the seller's docks, the buyer is responsible for it, and it's considered part of the cost of the asset. Because every asset is valued at what you pay for the asset plus whatever cost you get the asset in usable condition. All right, so let's put this up here. So this is what it's like when you buy the merchandise on the 18th. Here you return some merchandise. Okay, and here you send them a check. Get the discount. All right, you guys, I'll leave this up here. Could I have your attention? Some people are still writing, most people are done. I'll leave it up there for anybody who wants to take more notes. So let's put a wrap on this. So here's accounting for merchandise. So what happens here is the fact that here's the itemized cost. So in this case, what it is the invoice to merchandise in this example is $235,800. Then less your purchase discounts, that's the discount your wholesaler gives you, the 210 net 30 thing, minus any you return, add the cost of transportation, so the total cost of the merchandise, and this is also, it is $232,400, and this is also the value of the asset. Does that make sense, that it all fits together? All right, So all we've dealt with now have just been purchases, and this is purchasing merchandise for resale. When we come back from the break, then we'll get on to selling the merchandise. Okay? All right, and could you guys keep an eye on your watches? I'll try to start in exactly 10 minutes. Sound good? All right. See you in 10. And then I'll leave this up here for anybody who has a use for it. Get it? Now, I think I'll go get a stop. Thank you.